everyone, welcome back to Measure and Mix. Today I'm participating in Heidi Sonboul's Friend Friday Hop. This is a great way to find new DIY YouTubers that you might not have come across before. So after you're done here, click on the link in my description box and hop on over to the next girl's channel to watch their video, and then they will have a link and so on. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Today I'm going to be making some Dollar Tree farmhouse spring DIYs with whatever I have in my stash, so let's get started. For the first DIY, I'm going to be using these coasters I found at Dollar Tree a while back. I love the design on them and the colors. They're so pretty for spring. So I'm going to be putting them together to make a cube planter. So I have 5 of them. So I'm just going to be hot gluing each side of them together to make a cube, and then using one to glue on the bottom to make a bottom for the planter, and then leaving the top open. You could use E6000 to glue these together to make this last longer, but I like to use hot glue for everything just because it's easier and quicker for me when I'm making videos. Now I have these pieces of grass that came from Dollar Tree, so I've had them for a long time. A lot of them are kind of tore up, but I'm going to use them the best that I can. I'm going to remove some of the pieces of grass that are held onto the wires with some floral tape. And then I'm going to remove that floral tape and unwind the grass at the bottom and lay that flat and hot glue that to the sides around this cube planter. And that's just gonna help make this more full and look more filled in, rather than just placing the sprigs of grass in a piece of foam, which I will be doing that, but this just kind of makes it look more uniform, if that makes sense. Now once that's finished, I'm going to go ahead and add my floral foam, and then go ahead and add the sprigs of grass to the floral foam. Now what I didn't, well, I did realize this, I just completely blanked out and forgot, because I was going to go ahead and cut this grass so that way it would be level. And when I started cutting, as you can see, I ran into the wires that I was talking about that held some of the grass on. And I thought I could just cut around them and cut the grass and then cut the wires after I was done. That didn't work out so well. I had to stop what I was doing, stop cutting the grass, and come in with some wire cutters and cut the wires, and then continue to cut the grass, which is what I did. So before, if you do this or try to cut the grass, I would suggest cutting those wires before you put them in the cube. But it worked out in the end. I love how it turned out.
Do you remember when I used to come over to your house every day? Still remember the smell of your car when you drove me down to that lake. Felt so good staying up all night, that will forever be.
Don't forget to check out Heidi Sonboul's channel, the one who is hosting this Friends Friday Hop. She does things like this all the time, and she has the most amazing, beautiful, budget-friendly DIYs, so make sure you hit that subscribe button over there. For the second DIY, it's super easy. I found this brownie pan from Dollar Tree in my stash, and I have some silver metallic paint and some black acrylic paint. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint this with some of that silver metallic paint, and then come back with a little bit of that black acrylic paint and paint some of that on it while the silver is still wet to give this a galvanized look. I did come in with a piece of cloth and also dab the paint while it was still wet, and dab a little bit more black in there to give it more of a galvanized look. I wasn't going for the rusted look, I was just going for the galvanized look, so I didn't put any rust color on there, but you could definitely do that. I made sure that I did this on the front inside, in the handles, as well as the bottom and also the bottom of the handles, making everything look cohesive. After I let my pan dry for a little bit, now I'm going to use 4 of these wooden beads. I got them from Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. And I'm just gonna stain them with my dark walnut stain. And then once they are dry, I'm just gonna hot glue them to the bottom 4 corners to make little feet for this little tray. And that is it. I think this turned out so cute and perfect to set anywhere. For this third DIY, I'm using a frame from a canvas from Dollar Tree. It's an 8x10 frame. I just already took the canvas off a long time ago, so I just kind of jiggled the corners of the frames to take them apart, and then I just removed the little prongs keeping them together with some pliers. Now what I'm going to do is take one of these smaller pieces and I'm going to cut off all of the ends that are angled so that way they are straight. And then I want all of my pieces to measure the size of the smaller pieces that were on the frame, so I just use that as a guide and use my hacksaw to cut these. They're really easy to cut with a Dollar Tree hacksaw. They are pretty flimsy wood, so I didn't have a problem with that. And then I just sanded the bottoms and the tops so that way they would be smooth and even. Now I'm going to use these 3 pictures from Dollar Tree, the like picture boxes, and I just removed the little hangers and the stickers on the back, and now I'm giving them a coat of 2 coats actually of white chalk paint. And I forgot that you need to sand the front of these signs because they have glitter on them before you paint the front of them. So make sure you do that so that way you don't have any raised parts. And then I also painted the pieces of wood from the canvas picture frame with 2 coats of chalk paint as well. Now that everything is dry, it's time to put everything together. I'm going to make a little apothecary shelf type of thing out of these. So I'm going to take one of the boxes and a piece of the wood, and I'm going to line that up with the side of the box, making sure that it is level with the edge of the box. And I'm going to hot glue that piece down. You could use wood glue or E6000. Again, hot glue is just my go-to. And then I'm going to flip the box over, and on the opposite side of that first piece of wood, I'm going to put a second piece of wood. Then once those are glued into place, I'm just going to turn the box over and take the other 2 boxes that I painted, and I'm going to place one in the middle between the 2 pieces of wood, and then the last one I'm going to place at the end between the 2 pieces of wood. Then all I'm going to do is hot glue those into place, making sure that they are secure. When I attached the bottom box, I made sure that I left a little bit of room at the bottom so that way it would kind of look like it's standing on legs. After the first 2 pieces of wood is secured down to the boxes, I'm going to go ahead and attach the other 2 pieces just by flipping the box over and attaching those to the opposite sides of the boxes, again just with some hot glue. The last step is to use these little label hooks or pieces. I got them off of Amazon. I will link them down below in the description box, but I just used a little bit of hot glue to apply them to the middle of each box, and then I used the screws to screw them in to make sure that they were secured down. And that was it. I think this turned out so cute and perfect for a farmhouse decor. For this last DIY, I'm using one of these planters from Dollar Tree. It's just a plastic planter. You could use whatever planter you have. I just removed the sticker, but I am going to leave it this terracotta color, but you could paint yours whatever color that would match your decor. Next, I'm just going to take a Sharpie marker and I'm going to make 3 points around the top of the planter. And then I'm going to take my wood burning tool and I'm just going to burn 3 little holes where I marked at. Next, I'm going to use this cotton twine and I'm going to unravel 3 pieces that are the same length each. They were about 24 inches. I didn't measure, but that's my guesstimate. And then I inserted each piece into those holes that I made in the planter and tied a knot so that way they wouldn't pull all the way through. I also made sure to use a little bit of hot glue on the inside of the container where the holes were, just to make sure that reinforced that string so it wouldn't pull out. Now I'm going to add some wooden beads to each one of these strings. I'm going to add 6 beads to each string. So what I'm going to do with this first string is I am just going to come up a little bit from where I tied it to the planter, and I'm just going to tie a knot in the string. And then I am going to go ahead and string 3 beads down to that knot onto this string. And I'm easily putting these beads onto the string just with a little piece of tape at the top of the string, so that way it easily feeds into the holes of the beads. Then I'm going to come up a little bit from those beads and I'm just going to tie another knot and then add the second set of 3 beads. I didn't measure when I did this, I just eyeballed the first one. And then I just used that first one as a guide to do the other 2 strings. I just did the same thing to the other 2 pieces of string as I did to the first one and added my 6 beads to those strings. These beads, I have used these for so many different projects. They're the same beads I used at the beginning of this video. I love these wooden beads. 300 of them come in a package, so they last a long time. Now I'm going to go ahead and take those 3 strings and make sure that they are lined up and the beads are all lined up and everything is even, and pull the strings a little bit tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot in all 3 of the strings so that way I tie them together so it holds everything together. Then I took those 3 strings at the top and I went ahead and strung 6 beads through all 3 of those strings that are together. I just did the same thing I did on the other strings, and then I took a binder clip and used that as my top ring just by hot gluing the top of those strings to the binder clip. Then I added some Spanish moss to my planter, and I had these leaf garlands from Dollar Tree. They've been sitting in my stash for forever. So I just kind of put them in the pot with some of the vines hanging down. There was no rhyme or reason to this. I just kind of pushed them in there and tried to make them look like a vining plant. It was easier to arrange them when the pot was hanging up than it was when it was sitting down. It was getting all tangled in the strings. But I think this turned out really cute and has a farmhouse boho chic kind of vibe to it, and I like how it looks.
Drove me down to that lake. Felt so good staying up all night. That will forever be our place. And I know it's been a long time since we were together.
Thank you guys so much for watching today. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and now you can go ahead and click on that link in the description box to hop on over to the next girl's channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.